What's up, guys? Welcome to another YouTube video, and today we're gonna do basics to car flipping. I know a lot of people want to start car flipping, but you don't know if it's worth it. You don't know if you're gonna like it. You don't know if you're actually gonna make profit. You're gonna lose all your money. Like, there's a lot of factors to take into consideration when you're wanting to enter something as risky as car flipping. And what I've seen is that car flipping, if done right, can get you a lot of money, and it can get you into some really cool cars. So first things first, this is coming from me, that I've been flipping cars for about 3 years now. I have yet to take a loss on any of my flips, and I've been able to afford cool cars. One of my dream cars I'm in right now, actually. As you guys can see, the little Corvette sign down there, the Corvette emblem or whatever. I was able to purchase a 2007 C6 Corvette just from car flipping. So let's get to the basics. So step number one, you're obviously gonna need some money to start off with. I started off with literally $1,000. You could probably start off with less, buy just a more beat up car or truck compared to what I did. But my first truck that I bought with those $1,000 was a 1984 C20, one of those Squarebody trucks with a long bed. It was probably the most undesirable truck ever. It was a 3-speed on the floor, 350 engine. It was a long bed. It was mismatched colors. The bed was red, the cab was brown with tan, the interior was all torn up and everything, and it was just a mess. But one thing I do recommend when you're gonna try to get into car flipping is that do a platform that you know. Because if you try to if say me myself, I try to get into flipping Fords. I don't know anything about Fords, and if I were to go out and buy something that I thought was a cheap Ford, it might be cheap, but I might not be able to sell it for more. So I'd always keep an eye out for that. I do know Chevy Squarebody trucks the back of my hand. Those are really easy for me to work on. I know the market for them, and of course, you want to know the market on what you're flipping, or else you're going to go into debt. You're going to start dumping money into a car that's not even worth it. So step one, knowing your market. Know what your cars are fetching on local marketplace, I guess, like Facebook Marketplace, OfferUp, Craigslist. Check the internet. See what your car is going for, the one that you want to buy at least, before you buy it. Because if you buy an old, I don't know, Ford truck that's so undesirable, and someone's selling it for $1,000, obviously it's cheap, but it might be cheap for a reason. It might be cheap because that person might not be able to sell it for more. So always pay attention to the market value of your vehicles before you buy them. Step number two is to be ready to do a lot of work yourself. If you're gonna be flipping cars, you do not want to be paying these big bucks at mechanic shops or paint and body shops to do all this work, because that's more money that adds up into the car flip, and that makes your profit go down if you're gonna even get a profit after all that. So what I've learned is YouTube is your best friend. YouTube will help you with almost anything to do with a car. Look it up. Someone's been there, done that, and that's why I prefer the old Chevy trucks, because there's not a lot of electronics in there. So you don't need to be certified or anything. Be scared of burning anything down, because it's easy. Everything's easy. One of my friends said 3-wire fire, and that's really what it is. Just 3 wires onto that starter and it'll fire right up. Step number 3, make sure it's something that's close to you, because you don't want to drive across the country for a car that you haven't seen in person, or gotten all the facts about. Because if you go and buy a rusted truck or car, no one's gonna want to pay money, especially here in Arizona, for a rusty car. If you live in Arizona, you're lucky, because a lot of people will pay big bucks for non-rusty cars, and that's what I've grown to learn. I've been looking for Squarebody trucks that don't have rust in them, and they go for big bucks up north, just because guys over there, they want something rust free so they can enjoy over the summer, just because the trucks that they had, they never took care of, and they're just all rusty. Make sure you have some money in your savings, just because you're going to be spending more money. Buying the car isn't going to be your only cost. You're also going to have more costs, such as gas, tools. You have to rent tools, buy parts, stuff like that. So let me tell you guys the story about my first flip. I had a $1,000. I had about $1,500, but I spent $1,000 buying this old like C20 truck. I went and picked it up, drove it home, but it was a mess. It was a disaster, and I was like, okay, I need to clean it up a little bit. Obviously, this guy didn't clean it up. His pictures on Marketplace were all ugly. The truck was dirty, so people weren't really hitting him up. And I was like, you know what? I see potential here. If I clean this up a little bit and stuff, like I could probably make a little bit more money back. So that's what I did. I drove it home. I bought a seat cover for like $15. Bought some black spray paint so I could clean up the inside a little bit. And I think I cleaned up like the engine bay. I did some wheel restorations with the hubcap restorations and stuff. And after that, I believe I was into it about $1,500 after buying it, buying parts, buying the paint, buying the seat cover, buying all that. So I was into it $1,500, and I was like, okay, like I have no more room to spend money, and I need to make those $1,500 back. So me knowing the market a little bit, the Squarebody market, I know that like they've skyrocketed in value over the last few years, and I've noticed that like they'll go for good money. So I bought this one for $1,000, like I told you guys, and I was like, you know what, like I'm not gonna sell myself short. So I posted up for $5,000, and I was like, okay, like if I were to get $5,000, I'm making like $3,500 profit, but anything that is a profit is good. And so the day comes and I get like a bunch of people hitting me up on Marketplace, and they're like, I want to see it, when can I see it? And I'm like, okay, like looks like I might be getting my asking price for this. And then like the next day some dude offers me $4,500 cash, and I was like, you know what, like I'm making like $3,000, let's do it. So I went and I sold that truck, and that was literally like a month project that I did. So obviously flipping cars could be a little like time consuming, but if you make the time for it, you should be able to flip at least a car a month. One thing that I do want to let you guys know is that the state of Arizona, I think, or even other states, they only allow you to have 6 cars under your name and sell 6 cars in a year. So be careful with that. I know Arizona doesn't require you to notarize the titles anymore, so if you get a clean open title and just don't put your name on it and sell it to the next person with the last person's name on it, that would be the smartest idea to do, because you don't want to get those 6 cars under your name and then get like a letter in the mail saying that like you have to pay taxes or do something because you sold over 6 cars in the year. I think right now I'm at like 4 cars, and I called it good at 4 cars. If I have to put another car under my name, my brother said he'd help me, he'd put it under his name, but for now, if I'm buying a truck to flip or something, it's staying under the previous owner's name, and I'm giving it to the new owner under the previous owner's name. So be smart about this. Always count your cars. So yeah, like I said, I made a profit. So now we're standing at $4,500. We started with $1,500, which is really good. And so the process starts all over again. I go on Marketplace, offer up Craigslist, look for good deals on trucks. And like I told you guys, my specialty is square body trucks, C10s. Those are my specialties. So I'm looking for them, and I found this old beat up 1983 GMC Sierra. It had a big old dent, and I was like, okay, like, you know what? This dude wants $3,000 for it. I'm gonna have $1,500 left to spend on it. So I hit up some people to see how much paint and body would be, and believe it or not, I live close to the border, and someone in Mexico said they'd do the job for $500, and I was like, you know what, like let's do it. They painted the whole thing, and honestly it took a little longer than I thought. I think it was a year process for them to like strip it down, take out the dents, and paint it the color. But I was happy. It was a beautiful truck. So I spent the $3,000 to buy it, and then the $500 to paint it. So I still had $1,000 to play with. So with that $1,000, I was able to buy a lowering kit and wheels for it. So that's what I did. And like I said, all this work is done by myself here in my backyard, because I do not want to pay another shop to do that stuff. If I could do paint and body in my backyard, trust me, I would do it, but I don't know how to do that, and I don't want to risk ruining a truck and then just spending a bunch of money for something that I don't know how to do. Maybe somewhere in the future I'll practice a little bit more and just do it. But for now, I'm into this truck about 4,500, which is what I had, all I had. And we were able to paint this truck. We were able to paint it, get wheels, a drop kit, and with the truck, I was able to buy it with a clear title. So, like I said, I'm in 4,500 into this truck, and my plan is to sell it. This one was a short bed, automatic with a 700 R4 transmission, which is a little bit more desirable because it's good on gas. So I figured, like, let me go on Marketplace, let me go on all these sites and see what these trucks are going for in my condition. And so sure enough, they're going for a lot. I ended up posting this truck for 20 grand and I ended up getting 18 for it. So that was like a huge profit. So I was into it 4,500, and from that I went to 18 grand, which was amazing. And so 18 grand, I'm sitting on that. I'm like, okay, the grind doesn't stop here because I'm not satisfied with 18 grand. I want to keep flipping my way. I want to get a daily driver. I want to get a house. I want to just keep flipping. So the grind starts all over again. This time I come across this 1987 R10. R10 was the first year for fuel injection in these square bodies, and it's in Phoenix, Arizona, which is about 3 hours away from me. I make the drive up there, and it's some older guy. It's a beautiful silver truck, and I'm just like, dang, like I really want this truck. He lets me drive it around. He has it posted for 12 grand. Mind you, I have 18 grand to play around with, and I don't mind paying the 12 grand. So we're talking, the dude sees that like I'm really interested into the truck, and he's like, you seem like a good guy, and like every single person that would hit me up to come and see this truck would flake on me, but you actually drove 3 hours to come and look at it. And like, honestly, if you really want it, you don't have to give me the 12. If you give me 9, I'm happy. 9 grand? You kidding me not? Like, you're kidding, dude. Like, I just drove this truck and like I was ready to pay you the 12 grand. You want 9? Like, take my money. Take my money right now. So I paid the dude, clear title. I didn't even put it under my name. Drove it home 3 hours, drove amazingly with AC, radio, everything. And I was like, I just got a steal on this truck. Like, I wonder why this dude let it like go to me like so cheap. And so I'm working on it, and the dude was just like an older guy, and he's like, I wish I could like finish it, but I'm just getting old and like I won't be able to finish it and get it to like where I want it to be, but I hope you can do it. And I'm like, I will do it, and when I do it, I'll send you pictures. So I do this, and like I'm working on it. I bought wheels. The interior was all done. Paint was done. So all I did was bought wheels and drop it. That's all I did. So I'm 9 grand in, and with the wheels and the drop kit, I got a little bit better wheels for this one. So I ended up being, I think, 11 grand into this truck. And so I finished it up and I sent pictures to the guy, and he doesn't get back to me. And I'm like, oh, weird. Like, I guess he like really honestly didn't care. So I posted up for sale or whatever. And like a couple days later, someone else hits me up, but it's from the same number that I sent the pictures to. And he's like, hello, like, this is so-and-so's brother. Like, the truck came out amazing. I wish he was here to see it. And so it turns out the guy passed away like literally like a couple days after I bought the truck, which was so crazy to me. And I'm glad he gave me the opportunity to be able to flip this truck and make some money off of it, because honestly, like, it was shocking to me when like I heard that the guy passed away, because that had never like, it was a crazy story, and I wish you would have been able to see what I did with this truck, because I honestly made this truck amazing. And so I finished the truck up, like I said, and I was in 11 grand into it. So I was like, okay, like, you know what, like my 20 grand thing didn't go bad last time. Let me try it again. I posted up for 20 grand, and better yet, I had a guy from Utah hit me up, and he's like, you know what, I like your truck a lot, and if you are willing to hold it for me for like a week, I'll give you 22 grand. And I was like, I'll hold it for you for a week. And but the thing is, I'm only accepting cash. I don't accept checks or any like electronic payments or anything. And he's like, that's fine, I'll show up with cash at your doorsteps in a week. And it was said and done. He showed up a week later, picked up the truck. He drove from Utah, like I think it was like 16 hours straight here, and then 16 hours back just to pick up the truck. And the dude drove it literally like less than a mile, and he was in love with it. He bought it, drove it back, and I was like, okay, that is so cool. Okay, so now I'm sitting on 22 grand, and I'm just like, okay, like I could buy a car right now and I wouldn't have to pay like a loan back or anything, but I don't want to, because if I do, I'm gonna be broke. I'm gonna have to like save up for those $1,000 again, and I'd have to start from scratch all over again. So I was like, I'm not doing that. So what I did was I had 22 grand I was sitting on, and I found 2 good deals on Marketplace in Phoenix, and my brother ended up going with me. I took a U-Haul trailer, and he took he drove one of the trucks back. One of them was a 1985 K5 Blazer. It was a Jimmy technically, because it was a GMC, and then a 1977 T10 stepside. I bought each of them for 10 grand, so that gave me like 22 grand. I mean, that gave me 20 grand, and it gave me 2 grand to spend, which was fine. I cleaned up the K5 Blazer and everything, and I thought I was gonna be able to sell it, but like I said, make sure you know your market, because I didn't know the Blazer market, and I wasn't able to like sell it or flip it or anything. I was just getting lowball offers. But one day some dude hit me up and he wanted to trade a C10 for it, and I was like, let's do it, because I know the C10 market more than I know the Blazer market. I did it. We traded like straightforward C10 for Blazer, and I posted up the C10 for sale. Next day I ended up getting someone to pay me 15 grand for it. Mind you, I paid 10 grand for the Blazer, so that was a 5 grand profit, which I'm happy with. So now I'm just sitting on the 77 stepside truck, and I got this for 10 grand. I put in wheels, a drop kit, a retro sound stereo, dress up kit. Like, this truck was probably like top 3 most beautiful trucks I've ever had. And so I posted it up for 30 grand. I was getting lowballed offers all the time, and I was just like, oh my god, like I really need to sell this, but I don't want to sell it for a lowball value, because I think after I put all those expensive parts and everything, I was into that truck like 15 grand. So I wanted to get at least 20 for it, and get enough. Like, some dude hit me up and he's like, I'll give you 20 grand for it, and I was like, okay, let's do it. And this dude drove from Nevada, and he picked up the truck, paid me the cash and everything. So I was sitting on about like $35,000, and I was like, you know what, like I think this is comfortable enough to the point where I could buy myself a daily driver car and still have money to like look for the next flip. So I was looking around, and one of my friends hits me up, and he's like an older guy. He's like, hey, like I have this Corvette for sale. I'm getting older, my knees hurt, and it's just a pain in the butt to get in. So like, I seen that you're a car guy, and I'd like it to go to like another car guy that won't like mistreat it or like go drag racing with it, like burnouts all the time and stuff like that. And I was like, I'll take it from you. How much do you want for it? And this dude was like, give me 10 grand for the Corvette. Mind you, it's a 2007 C6 Corvette, like very well maintained and everything. And I was like, let's do it. So like I told you guys, I've got now a C6 Corvette, and like I said, it was 10 grand. So now I'm sitting on about 25 grand, and I'm waiting for the next project. I've been on Marketplace, OfferUp, and Craigslist, but it seems like everyone's started to catch on the C10 craze, and they've been posting their trucks for a lot of amounts. But one thing about posting is that you need to know your market. You need to know, like, you have to be in all these Facebook groups too, because that's what I'm in. I'm in like at least 30 Facebook groups, and I post in every single group when I have something for sale. And when you just post on Marketplace, it might sell, but it's a little bit harder to sell it just on that one Marketplace platform instead of selling it into like specific groups for your car. So that's what I normally do, is just post it into these specific groups for like the Chevy trucks, and then hope for the best. So right now I'm looking for some trucks. If you guys know of any short bed C10s for sale, feel free to like hit me up, and I'll make you an offer for it or something. Of course, I'm looking for rust-free ones, automatic ones, running and driving with decent paint and body. But yeah, so let's recap on what we went through. So like I told you guys, make sure you have the funds. If you don't have the funds, there's no point of you just wasting your life savings to do it, because at least have like $1,500 to $2,000 to be able to spend. Also make sure you know how to like do it yourself. I don't want you guys to like take it to other shops and stuff and have them like overcharge you for this work that you could have done yourself in your backyard, because that's going to add more to your investment, and you might end up taking a loss. And number Number 3, know your market. You don't want to buy something that you don't know the value of or anything, or the market for, because then it's just going to be sitting in your yard rotting away. And the last rule for car flipping is try to have fun, because if it's not fun for you and you're hating your life every time you do it, I wouldn't recommend it, because it is a lot of hard, tiring work. It's like obviously like a second job. You do your first job, which will give you a constant income, but this car flipping stuff is to give you a second income where, like, hopefully if you get cash, it's non-taxable and you're just making money so you could buy things that you want. Obviously you're going to be working overtime. You're going to work your 40 hours in your regular job, come home and just do some more hours on your car, vehicle, or whatever. So if it's not enjoyable for you, like, it's not worth it. And for me, it's a little bit enjoyable. It's relaxing to be able to work on cars with my AirPods in, listening to music just in my own little world. But also make sure you have the tools. Tools are very important, and if you don't have any tools, I know AutoZone does the Loan a Tool program, so does O'Reilly's, but if you go to Harbor Freight, there's a lot of cheap tools there that will get the job done for you. But for now, this completes this video. If you have any questions on car flipping, drop it in the comments below. Make sure to hit that subscribe button. I'm here to help you guys. We're here to make money together. There's so much money in this world, so why can't we get in on some of it, you know? So yeah, tune in for our next video. I'm going to be going over my first truck more in depth. On my first truck, that 1983 long bed T20 with the 3-speed on the floor. I'm going to be more in depth, tell you the stories of like how I picked it up, what I did. So stay tuned. Thanks for watching this video, and see you guys next time.